Well, welcome everybody this evening. And we'll start with the public comment period. And Ryan Mattel.
Thank you. Hand out about to see where we go right quick.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, well, I'm sure probably most of you know I'm here to talk about the contractors ordinances that you're looking at this evening. First, I want to make it clear that I actually support the ordinances in theory. However, I think there's some ambiguity, some subjectivity. There's some questions I have about these ordinances. One of the ordinances that is on the agenda to be discussed, I haven't even been able to review. It hasn't been made public on the website or anywhere. So I find that a little bit troubling. In the 3 minutes that I have in this public comment period, there's no way I could even start to get into the questions and concerns I have. But I know that these ordinances, these ordinances, when you pass them, these are laws. And laws for the city. City staff has to enforce them, and us as citizens, we have to abide by them. So there's some things that I have concerns with that may seem trivial or seem not important, words that I have concerns with, whatever. But in the end, it could be the difference between me butting heads with Nick about something, and he's a lot bigger than I am. I don't want to have to do that. If it's possible to clear this stuff up before you pass it, I think that would be wise. But anyway, I would love to answer questions or have a discussion at the appropriate time during the agenda, if you'll allow me. But otherwise, hopefully you can review the comments I have on the attached or on the documents I gave you, and I'll leave it at that. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Ryan.
Just for clarification, the two ordinances that are being proposed tonight are one with the fee schedule, which is bill just got done on Monday. And the other one has to do with repealing it from a 1 year to a 2 year license. It doesn't deal with the language that he's talking about under apprentices and stuff like that. In my opinion, that probably needs to go back to the Building and Trades Board to have a discussion on how they would like that worded. I don't think that affects approving these tonight, because that's not what that is.
Yeah, these are just rates and
Just
dates,
going from a
basically.
1 year to a 2 year license is all of this deals with tonight, the two ordinances.
That's not exactly correct.
That's not correct about it.
Well, you're adding the continuing ed portion of it that I had some questions on
Was that right now, wasn't it, Bill?
on page 16.
Isn't that already in that part of the ordinance?
Yeah, I think the only continuing ed, I'd have to look, it's been a while since we looked at this.
Yeah.
But I believe it just says if continuing ed is a prerequisite, then you have to have it done prior to making the license application.
Right.
Doesn't create a new obligation.
Yeah, you're required, yeah.
Right.
I don't want to get into it now. I'd rather you guys do your thing and you can discuss it during the agenda item. But
Yeah, I don't think there's any additional training requirements proposed, other than it does clarify that they have to have it done prior to getting the license.
follow you up here. I think that what Ryan was referring to, you can tell me if I'm wrong. The one that has 4-109 training on the bottom of it, of the ones that we're looking at, not the ones that Ryan handed us, but the ones that were on front of us, loosely in front of it. The top of the second page, the last sentences and the top paragraph A, on or after January 1st, 2026, if continuing education is a prerequisite to obtain a license, proof of completion of 12 continuing education units will be required for license renewal. Is that what you're talking about?
More referring to the top part of the underline, stating adding the general building contractors and the building contractors requiring the continuing ed. And I don't have an issue with that aspect, but I'm curious as to why residential building contractors are not also required to have a continuing ed.
So are general building contractors different than residential contractors?
There are 3 classifications for a contractor. A general contractor that can do any commercial work regardless of how big or tall the structure is. A building contractor, which is what I am, that can do commercial construction up to 3 stories. And a residential building contractor that can only do 1 to 2 family residential projects.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was omitted by accident or if there was a reason why residential building contractors would be also required to do continuing education. And that's my question I'm posing to this group. One of the questions.
So the council knows, this whole issue was presented to the, what's the name of the?
Oh, the Building Trades Board.
Yeah, and all of these issues were taken up. Brian was there and spoke to them, and you know, if the council wants them to do further work, I mean, that's up to the council, just refer it back to them, to say, take another look at it. But I will tell you that all of these issues were discussed with them, and they were the ones that proposed these changes James put it mechanically proposed it, but they adopted it and sent it to you in this form. And you know, there's nothing wrong with sending it back to them if you think that's appropriate. I'm just letting you know that there is that background here.
Just to clarify, Bill, the issue that I'm raising here was not discussed at the building trades meeting. We discussed.
And that's another reason that perhaps it shouldn't be taken up tonight.
Yeah.
Because if it's something that that board hasn't had a chance to look at, and that may be the case, we talked about a lot of things. Ryan, I'll defer to him on that particular issue, but if they haven't looked at it, then maybe we ought to ask them to look at it before it comes here. I mean, that's part of the point in having that body is to, they're the subject matter experts, look at things and make proposals to you. You don't have to. You can do whatever, you know, you've got the authority to do whatever you think's appropriate. That would be something I'd recommend to you.
I haven't had time to talk to him, and I would like to speak with maybe a couple gentlemen on that board, so I propose we table the subject, give us some time to talk to them and kind of see what they think about the language. With the residential contractors, I don't know how many we have. I don't, even in the city, even as far as if we have a dozen or 5 or none at all. So if there's, you know, maybe a discrepancy there, I don't know about it, so I'd like to just make a motion that we table it and give us some time to talk to them and maybe bring it up to another in the future and see where it goes from there.
Is it possible, Bill, for us to approve the changes in the licensing rates and then hold the wording?
Yeah, they're separate ordinances. You adopt one and not the other,
Okay.
whatever you wish to do. The second one that purely has to do with changing the fee schedule. And the fee schedule hadn't been changed since, I think, what was it, 94? 1994. And it also was based on an annual fee. This one's based on a 2-year. So whenever you look at it going from $25 to $60, it's not quite as bad as it sounds, because that's for 2 years.
It's going up $5.
So it's going up $5 a year, is what it's doing.
So, question, Bill, this one has to deal with repealing the licensing periods. Can you adopt this
Yeah.
one without?
Yeah, that's a good question, except this ordinance has its own language adopting a 2-year period. So I think you would probably be all right, although Nick has raised a really good question, because that,
I'm just saying, this is repealing existing to adopt the 2-year, and this is,
Yeah.
these are, I guess, commingled in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, because the other language does refer to provisions, other provisions of the code. So, yeah, it probably would be best to hold on.
Hold it
I
all.
want to see this one. Oh,
You wanted-
that's
I mean-
my original copy.
You want to make that a motion to,
Hold on.
No, he
Or do we
did,
need a
he
motion?
did, he did move it, I just need a second.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any more conversation? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to table this until we can get more information from the building and trades board can go over it more. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
I think we need a little bit of clarity. Is it just so individual council members can talk to the board, or do you want the board to actually?
I think that James needs to set up a meeting and have the board meet to discuss all this.
Mhm.
And then whoever wants to attend can attend.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be the best way to do that.
I'm with you.
I'd probably like to attend that if I could.
Yeah, I'll get James to set it up and then I'll send an email.
You
out.
can just send it out to all of us and if
And
we.
then James normally puts it in the paper and stuff
Well, we
like
need, I was
that.
gonna say, we'll have to make sure that we're not, it'll have to be an open meeting.
Well, yeah, they're all open meetings, but yeah,
Okay.
James puts it in the paper, so it'll be fine.
Okay. Okay, moving forward, the consent agenda, minutes from the previous meeting, the appropriations, and there are no late cabin transfers. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second?
Second that.
Okay, we moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. There being no old business, we'll move on to new. City Lake Committee recommendation, IT7.
Yeah, so the Lake Committee is recommending the approval of a boundary line adjustment request of 60 feet for a 2-car carport for IT7. Does not restrict the area in any way. And Keith and Larry can speak to any questions you guys may have.
Pretty straightforward, isn't it, Larry?
It is, yeah. It tends to even up those boundaries along the roadside also. Because the ones on both sides are closer to the road than this particular one is. So it evens them up along the access road down through there, which makes the area a little more accessible and better looking, I would say, for the property. But yes, there's nothing back in that area, and neither of the adjoining leaseholders have any problems with it, according to the written information we've received.
They're willing to pay the fee? Okay.
It's already
Yeah,
existing. It's already existing, they just want to move it, basically. Is that
Well,
correct?
yeah.
I'm just looking at the picture here.
Yeah, it's all for the,
Yeah.
it's all for the leasehold. And what they wanna do is put that boundary further up the hill there. Just the other side of that carport that you see there, the hill increases. You'd have to take out 10 or 12 feet of dirt to go any further back up the hill. So it's adjacent to the cabin.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I hear a motion concerning this request?
Go ahead, Larry.
I'll move that the council approves the motion for the boundary extension
Okay.
of property at IT7.
Okay, and Keith, you want to second that?
Sure.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the City Lit Committee recommendation for IT7 for a dual parking cover. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Office Committee recommendation, contractor apprentice ordinances.
No, that's the one which we're tabling.
Oh, okay.
That's tabled. So
Yep,
we're on
I
the,
wasn't paying.
nope, you're fine.
Office Committee, that threw me.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we're going to do the Office Committee recommendations. The Office Committee recommends the appointment of Megan Weaver from Payroll Appropriations Clerk to Assistant City Clerk. Payroll Appropriations Clerk at a pay rate of $16.50 per hour, effective 3/16/2022. And she has finished all the training for this. So,
Yeah, she's actually a certified clerk. So she went to
So-
4 years of schooling to get that.
so do I hear a motion to approve that appointment?
You do.
Okay, Jason.
Second.
Okay, second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I did those out of order.
It's all right.
Okay. The Office Committee recommends the appointment of Lisa Good to Utilities Billing Clerk at a pay rate of $16 per hour. This appointment is contingent on passing the drug alcohol screening and the background check. Do I hear a motion to approve that appointment?
So move.
Okay, Keith.
Okay.
Second, Sean. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. She will be replacing Laura.
That's correct. Yep, Laura's retiring April 12th.
Okay.
Their last day. And she's gonna start, this month, so she has a couple weeks with Laura before she's gone. So we're looking at either, probably the 28th as the start date.
Okay.
That way she has a couple weeks with Laura.
Okay. Greenwood Cemetery mowing bids.
We got one. You wanna open or you want me to open?
Go ahead.
Okay. That's from Twin Lakes Lawn Service, Mr. Kohler. So their per mow bid weeding is $2,264.28. So that make it a 3-year bid of $95,100.
What was it prior? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I can go look it up. It's more. It's a little bit
A
more.
little bit more than
Yeah,
now?
we're still saving money by doing this. I think before we did it this way, we were spending about $136,000 a year mowing that over there. So,
Okay.
so this is still cheaper.
We have to raise our rent.
Well, when you look at raising fees at the cemetery, I think we've done.
2264.28, is that what you had there?
Uh-huh.
Per mow?
Yes,
Yeah,
2264.
so per year mow is 31,700, and the way it's set up is that there's no minimum or maximum number of mows, that when it needs mowed, it gets mowed. So we may be on a good end of that in a good year when it rains a bunch, and they may be on a good end of year of that when it doesn't rain a lot.
When they're over there blowing dust.
Right, so, but historically what's happened is that you have a year where you have a lot of rain and they're mowing a lot and you're paying them per mow and you eat a lot of cost because you set up that way. So so far I think we've benefited from having it set up this way, so.
Okay. Do I hear a motion concerning that bid?
So moved.
Okay. Second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other conversation? Nobody wants to lawnmower, right? Okay, all in favor?
Can't
Motion
get the
carries
rec
5-0.
department over there with their new order,
You know what, so
mowing strike.
our mowing season goes from April to October and it's still warm in October, so our guys had to mow it and it took them almost a week to do it, so. Between mowing and weed eating.
I used to weed eat that baby in high school and it was a lot of
It's big.
work.
I told Cole, was asking me if I knew anybody that wanted to weed eat, and I recommended Cade, so. Say he shovels snow, I said, I could see him running a weed eater.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. We're down to the executive session. Do you want to?
Yeah, make a motion that we go into executive session for city lake attorney-client privilege to include the entire council, the mayor, the city attorney, and city administrator for
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Jason. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, so we're back and let's go to governing body.
That's what I need to know.
Let's start out.
Who?
You.
I don't have anything.
Okay. You acted like you were gonna have 10,000 things there for
I've
me.
been busy enough.
Bill, how about you?
Don't want to have
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay. Jason?
I am good this week.
Okay. Larry?
No, I have nothing this week.
Okay, Sean?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay. Mark?
Hey Nick, I passed on a thank you to the city crews with the snow we had. I thought they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they did.
Yep, yep, I'll let them know.
That's all I got.
Okay. Keith?
Good this evening as well, thank you, Mayor.
And I have nothing either. How about that? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
See you, Friday.